Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello and welcome. I'm Dan, your friendly fishmonger here at dansfish.com. And we do this live stream every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 Eastern for those who might be a wee bit mountain challenged. Thanks for coming by and spending a little bit of your Wednesday evening with us. We do appreciate it. Got some cool stuff today. We have a shipping report, which is not cool. This is going to be a rough one. But we've also got a good giveaway. It's a Panaque Pleco. I'll talk to you about that. Some stuff that got listed recently, some new items available at dansfish.com, including we're actually doing a bit of a sale. We never do sales, so I'll tell you why. And I'll talk to you about the fish that are on sale right now. And then we'll geek out about fish. You'll leave stuff in the chat, questions or comments in the chat for me to respond to about aquarium fish and related topics, and we will get to that. So that's the docket for the day. Should be a good hang. All right, let's start with the shipping report. This is one of those days. Oh, I also have to update you on how we're doing with the Send Johnny to the Clash spontaneous fundraiser that happened. So I've crunched the numbers finally, and so I'll give you a report on that. If I forget, someone yell at me in the chat, but I have the data here to do that. So okay. Shipping report. So this is one of those weeks where I wish we were not a transparent company, where I wish I hadn't committed to telling you guys how the shipping went each week, because this was a doozy. We were at 99.09% last week. This week we are 98.84. Got absolutely slammed. Let me tell you the story of why and how that happened. So on Wednesday, there was a big storm hitting Kentucky. And for those that don't know, every package that we ship out goes to Kentucky, with the rare exception of if it's a local package and can get there by the next morning by truck, then they don't send those air freight. They just put those on a truck and take them, like local other people in Wyoming, customers in Wyoming, maybe a few in lower Montana, a couple other places that are really close by. But with very few exceptions, the main UPS hub is in Louisville, Kentucky, and with very few exceptions, all the fish go there. FedEx does the same thing. They just go to Memphis, Tennessee. That's where their main hub is. So UPS and FedEx over in Tennessee and Kentucky, and we saw there was horrible weather there Wednesday of last week. Very, very high likelihood of tornadoes, rain so hard you couldn't see through it, very high winds, all that. So we also saw that the storm was going to end at about 1 a.m. Wednesday night, so really early Thursday morning. And so we're like, okay, we've been in this situation before where there's a storm. We'll just hold off and ship on Thursday so the fish can get there on Friday. We usually don't ship on Thursdays, and the reason is if there is a delay and your fish doesn't get to you on Friday, we don't want it to sit in a UPS warehouse over the weekend. That's why we don't usually ship on Thursdays. Well, we talked to our representative before we did this, and we said, if there's anything delayed on Friday, are we prepared to bump that up to Saturday? Can you contact everybody that needs to know and get our packages bumped up to Saturday delivery? So, and he said yes. So we're like, okay, great. We'll ship Thursday. The boxes will get there Friday. If they don't, if someone is delayed, they'll get there Saturday. That all sounds doable. So we shipped the fish on Thursday, and lo and behold, oh, the other thing we did is we talked directly to the dock master. Well, we didn't. Our rep did and forwarded the conversation to us. So the dock masters are the folks on the ground managing the flow of packages through the various airports and such. And so we heard from the dock master. Dock master said, yeah, it was really rough, but we cleared everything this morning. So if you ship, we should be able to get it through. This shouldn't be a problem. So we had dock master telling us that things should be fine. We had a rep that was like, yep, I'm standing by to upgrade you to Saturday delivery, just in case the packages don't get delivered on Friday. And so we shipped on Thursday. Problem is a lot of the packages didn't get delivered on Saturday like they should have. So we contacted the rep put in the request, changed everything, but there was still a delay. And I don't know if it's because UPS was just so backed up that things got delayed, or if there was some command from on high that was like, you guys have already worked all your overtime this week on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday dealing with the issue. I don't know what happened, but a lot of packages did not get delivered on Saturday, even though they were upgraded to Saturday delivery. And so they sat in the warehouse overnight. So we had a lot of losses. A lot of packages were not delivered until Monday. Unfortunately, it was very cold in Louisville. It was down in the 30s. I believe Monday night, it was the low was 28 degrees. Sunday night, Monday night, something like that. So really cold. So we had a lot of losses, enough to bump us down from 99.09% success to 98.84% success. Ironically, the last time we were at 98.84% was a year ago, April 1st. It's tricky though. The weather's kind of warming and stuff. It seems like the big winter storms are done. We don't have a lot of snow and ice anymore. You know, you think you're out of the danger zone, and then April will get you. That's what I've learned. So, not a fun shipping report. Anyone that did have losses, I sincerely apologize. If you haven't, please contact us at hello@dansfish.com, HELLO@dansfish.com. We guarantee the fish will arrive alive. If they don't, we refund the cost of the fish and also the cost of the shipping associated with that fish. So we're trying to make it risk-free. There is some risk, of course, anytime you buy an animal. And we're trying to make it financially risk-free for you so that if there is a problem, you're not out the cost of the fish or the shipping. So we'll refund that. I think everyone's probably already done that, but if you haven't, please contact us. And if you're one of those people that the fish arrived alive, but a couple of them were iffy because they got too cold or whatever, just keep us in the loop. Let us know over the next week or two if they recover or not, because we want to take care of our customers. We want to be the place where if you buy fish from us, you can do it with confidence, knowing that, first of all, nothing's going to go wrong, almost. Apart from a random disaster like this, which happens once every year and a half. This is a very rare occurrence. Apart from that, we're usually around 99%. Right now, we're still close, 98.84, but we want to be at 99. So we try to structure things so you know that the fish will get there in good shape. And in the rare cases they don't, you'll be taken care of. So that's what we do here at Dan's Fish. But anyway, yeah, rough week. Can you tell it's been a little stressful? I haven't had time to shave. The gray is coming in. The gray is strong in this one. Like lots of gray. Still, I wouldn't change this job for anything. Even on the worst day, it's better than most jobs I've had. I really love being able to get up in the morning and go do my job. Like it's made me, I don't know, I think I'm a better father, a better husband, a better friend. I think I'm just better because there's stress at work. I mean, look at the gray, but I find meaning in my work every day, and that's just changed my life. So this is gonna sound planned, it wasn't, but we are looking to hire. Speaking of which, we have a couple positions. We've grown a ton. Last month, we shattered another record, another financial sales record. So we're growing a lot. We need to hire a couple people. So if this is a job that you think you might like, please send a cover letter and resume to me here at dansfish.com. hello@dansfish.com. HELLO@dansfish.com. We would love to interview some folks. The workload is high and we need some relief. We need a little help. We are in Sheridan, Wyoming. This is not a remote position where this is hands-on working with the fish. It's hard to select fish for customers and ship them to customers and help customers that have questions about fish and stuff if you're not actually here. So pick the right fish for them and all that. So that's that spiel. What else do we got? Okay, the Johnny this Johnny to the Clash update. So I crunched the numbers, and it looks like the first this unsolicited "We Want Johnny to Go to the Clash" effort began October 16th, 2024 by Geek Boy. Geek Boy was the first one, from what I saw when I went through everything, to leave the comment, "Hey, send Johnny to the Clash, here's a donation to make that happen." He did that, and then everyone jumped on board, and ever since October 16th, 2024, that's episode 332 of this live stream, people have been leaving super chats to send Johnny to the Clash. I'm happy to report that I think we have enough to do that. We've raised, there's been $1,137 super chatted or super stickered to Johnny through this YouTube channel on the live stream. That should be enough for a ticket. That should be enough for a hotel and such. So I think we're good. I want to thank everyone for doing that. Johnny works really hard. I'm really glad he's going to get a chance to go out there and be a fish nerd at a convention and meet all y'all and just geek out. So yeah, you did it. Johnny's going to the Clash. So so that's that update. What else did we have to update you on? Now let's talk about the giveaway. Let's do that. So Geek Boy is such a troublemaker. Yeah. If a movement in society needs to be launched, let's get Geek Boy to do it. Apparently he's got the magic touch. All right. So the giveaway today is for Panaque Pleco. These are awesome plecos. They anywhere from the blue Panaque, what's that? 6-7 inches, a really big one, maybe a little bigger, and then you get some that grow into absolute monsters. Like they could feed a village. So big range on these awesome plecos. They're known as wood eaters. They chew on wood, they eat wood. I don't know if they actually digest wood, but they eat the biofilm and organisms in the wood, and it's just part of their natural diet. And the one we have now came as a contaminant. When we got it, it was itty bitty. It was so small we didn't really even notice it. And the other day we were cleaning out a tank and we saw him, and now he is, well, let me show you exactly how big he is. Now he's this big. This is a 16-ounce deli cup, so the diameters from side to side here is 3 to 4 inches. So he's, I don't know, 4 inches, maybe 5 inches long at this point. Just been growing up here. Now, because he came as a contaminant, we have no idea what kind he is. Let me show you another picture. So those two pictures are actual pictures of him taken earlier this week. And sorry, I had to take him out of the water very briefly to get that shot. I just could not get him to behave in the water. So it was very quick. I usually don't take plecos out of the water when I take pictures because I don't want to stress them. But in this case, I just could not get the picture any other way. But this is what he looks like. I don't know what kind he is. I don't know if he's going to turn into an absolute titan that could feed a village and bust a tank, or if he's going to be one of the smaller varieties. But hopefully these pictures have been up long enough that if you're one of the pleco nerds that can identify him, and you've got a top view and a side view, hopefully that's worked. But anyway, he's the giveaway for today. Beautiful fish, raised up from a wee youngster, and has been in our care that whole time. Big, fat, and sassy. I'll do the giveaway hashtag a little later. I don't want to do it now and have chat crash and then have everyone's entries get lost and such. So we'll do that in just a little bit. Well, we'll do that a little later when we're ready to do the drawing. But that's the item that is the giveaway today. Next thing on our list for today is I want to show you some fish. Well, and a snail. Look at this thing. Isn't that pretty? Look at the bright gold spots all along this rabbit snail. Rabbit snails are the coolest. If you've never tried them, they're so unique. They're a live bearer. They only have, I don't know, is it one baby at a time? Very few babies at a time. So they don't reproduce very quickly, which is good. If you've ever been overrun with pest snails, you know that fast reproduction is not always something to be desired. So slow and steady reproduction on these guys. And they look like a creature out of Star Wars when they, like a big giraffe head that sticks out. Let me show you. Orange. I got a picture of these guys that shows the top view better. See that? See how that kind of sticks out like that? To me, this is something out of Star Wars. I could totally see like a humanoid alien riding the shell on this across the desert in a Star Wars movie. Like, it's got a funny trunk nose. They're just a really interesting animal. So we have several kinds of rabbit snails. If you've never tried one, they're a really cool thing to try. We only have a couple of golden paradise gouramis left. So just a couple left. Just a few more tiger teddies. We were able to bring in, so usually when I buy these from the breeder, I bring in a couple hundred at a time. I think they only had 30 this time. So our numbers are quite low. I'll try again to get more, but they're not going to have more available for a little while. It's going to be at least 6 weeks or so before they have any available. But we do have a few more pairs available. Some Pseudomugil luminatus, the red neon blue eye rainbow, a nice little blue eye. Finally, after a long hiatus, we have some dwarf neon rainbow fish. This is one that's eternally popular because A, it's pretty, and B, it doesn't get too big. These things top out at maybe 3 inches. They don't turn into a, some rainbow fish can get 7 inches. And all the Melanotania are active swimmers. They swim around a lot. So when you have a 7-inch fish that swims rapidly and perpetually, you need a good sized aquarium. But when it's only 3 inches, you can keep it in a much more manageable size aquarium without any problem. So, and plus they're pretty. I mean, that bright red with that steel blue or sky blue, I'm not sure, light blue iridescence across the body is pretty fantastic. Now, if you do have a pest snail problem, let's say you didn't get rabbit snails. if you're overrun with pond snails and bladder snails and ram's horn snails and stuff, you need to decrease the surplus population. We have some assassin snails. So these are a snail that hunts and eats other snails. So they can help decrease the population. What is that, Charles Dickens? He's talking about the poor, and he's like, well, if they want to die, they should do it and decrease the surplus population. Yeah. I watched the Muppet Christmas Carol over Christmas. I do that every year because it's so good. And that line sticks in my head. Some more roseline barbs. These are the regular, the one that started it all, the traditional roseline barb. We also have gold roseline barbs. Some more lemon tetras. This is a fish I never thought I would sell. The lemon tetra is super common. You can probably get it at a big box pet store, Petco, PetSmart, something like that, for very, very cheap. And so I did not think that this is something my customer base would be interested in, because we charge a lot more for our fish because of all the quarantine and how we source fish and all that. Our fish are more expensive just because of the process we use to make sure they're humanely sourced, maintained, and transported to you, all the extra work that takes. And then our health team. So we have 3 people now that work here at Dan's Fish full time, and all they do is concentrate on the health of the fish. One person, their job is to feed and observe the fish, make sure that they have the right environment and all that stuff. And then 2 people just work at a lab, diagnosing fish, administering medications as needed, and all that. So when you've got the sourcing practices and maintenance and transport practices that we do, plus all the diagnostics and stuff that we do in-house to make sure that when they get to you, they're healthy and they'll thrive for you, we're expensive. I did not think people would pay enough for lemon tetras to make it worth me bringing them in, but this has been one of our highest sellers. People are, I guess, grateful to be able to get ones that thrive for them. And so we have more available. Dwarf chain loaches, an awesome little loach, and look at the price. It's only $14.99, which for this, okay, I'm gonna do something a little risky here. I think this is a very good price. Let's see. Let's just Google dwarf chain loach for sale. See what everyone else ships them for. Okay, Aquahunum's got them for $10. 4 for $68.99. What's that work out to? 68.99 divided by 4. $17 a piece. Wet spot 17 to 99. $27.99 here. $11.99 there. So it seems like the cheapest is about $10. 17 on some. 17, $18 on some. Well, we're usually really expensive, but in this case, we're not bad. $14.99, which I would say is well in range of what most other people are selling them for, and actually less than a lot of other people are selling them for. So I'm always thrilled when I can offer a nice, fat, and sassy, healthy fish at a price that's actually at or less than what everyone else is selling them for. I usually can't because of all the work and expense that goes into operating the way we do. But in this case, I think that's a really good fish at a really good price. Now, they're not big. They are dwarf chain loaches, by the way, dwarf, but these guys are about 1.5 inches is all. So they're not big. They're going to get, you know, they're young is what I'm saying, but it's a good price. Okay, the dwarf neon goby. I need to get a good picture of this, but one of the prettiest gobies out there. It rivals Stiphodon anniae, Stiphodon rudolarius, and some of the others that are so pretty. Some more peppermill tetras, Hyphesobricon pujodi. So this has an interesting story. There's a family that used to live in Brazil, Peugeot. I don't know if you know that there's a bike company, bicycles, Peugeot brand. There's a car manufacturer that's Peugeot brand. That name's pretty famous. But this family lived in Brazil, and they had a pepper plantation and a pepper mill on it. And so by this river, they ground pepper. They had a pepper mill. And I think what happened, oh, it's been a while since I read this story, but something like the family, that estate now protects the wildlife in that area. And so because of that, this fish is preserved. It's got a place in the wild. That's where it's from, is the property where that pepper mill is. And it's got a nice habitat that's well maintained because of how the estate handled everything. So that's why it's called the peppermill tetra. And it's a stunner. These pictures are from Ryan Remy. Ryan did tell me that it took about a year for them to develop their full colors, so don't be in a hurry. And I know they're $70. I wish I could sell them for less, but these are seldom available, and right now they're in really, really high demand, and they're hard to get, and they cost me a lot of money. That's why they're $70. But I mean, look at this. Next to the raccoon tetra, these might be the prettiest. The raccoon tetra and the pujodi, I think, rival each other for the prettiest tetra. And they're super closely related, by the way. They're in the same, is it a clade? I don't know what they call them. The same lineage group. There's a few. So Hyphesobricon is just kind of a catch-all name right now for all the tetras. And the tetras are not scientifically categorized yet the way they know they will be. But they know the lineages. They know that this group is closely related, this group is closely related, this other group is too. And so this is one where the peppermill tetra and the raccoon tetra are very closely related. Here's another fish that's awesome, that is in real high demand and hard to source. This is Corydoras hystatus. A beautiful little dwarf cory, pygmy cory, stays small. So it's like Corydoras pygmaeus, the pygmy cory, or Hesbrosus, but this is they sometimes call it the diamond tail or the spot tail because it's got this black diamond, if you will, on the tail. Hard to get these guys. I wish they were not this expensive. I wish I didn't have to charge 35 to 40 bucks a piece for them. But I have found that the only place I can get them from reliably. Night, guys. Thank you. Some folks are leaving the warehouse. So just finished up with an import, and folks are leaving. So the only place I can get these reliably and in a way that I know how to consistently get them healthy, so I'm not just bringing them in and having them die on me, right? Which is totally inhumane. We don't want to do that. We're bringing them in, and we know what to do consistently to get them healthy. There's one source, one breeder that does that, and they charge a lot of money for these, and I have to bring them in from overseas, and so that's why they're so expensive. I know that you can find Hostatus for a lot less than this, but they're probably imported directly from the wild. And from what I've experienced doing that, the losses are really, really high. And so these are more, but they're humanely sourced and they're gonna live, at least so far. This is the third batch I've got from this source. So far, so good. Some Julie Cories, which aren't actually Julie Cories. These are the false Julie Cories, which is Trilineatus. The way you can tell is you see on the face here, these squiggles and large spots down on the head. See that? If you look at the actual Julii, which is this, we do get sometimes, you'll see the pattern on the face is quite different. I don't know if I'm close enough in for you to see it really clearly, but that's how you tell. So this is Trilineatus, still a gorgeous fish, awesome fish. Glolidanios, is this my favorite Limia? I think it is. Perugier, because it's absolutely gorgeous and it's very active. Maybe the most energetic Limia out there. And then I just want to make sure I'm not going over. Yeah, this is where we stopped last. Okay. These are ready to go. Another group of yellow-headed panda angelfish. I know a lot of folks have been waiting for this one. Sorry it took so long, but we do have more available. Just a few of these, and this is where we get into the sale items. Okay, so to see the sale items, you can go to sort on sale, and that'll show you the stuff that's on sale, right? But I'm going to do it this way because I prepared this way, and I won't be thrown off as much. Okay. So we have this L38 coral pattern pleco. We've only got a few left. That's a smoking deal, by the way, $39.99 a piece for them. And then let's get to the other sale things. So actually, I will go up here because then they'll all be grouped together. Sort by on sale. There we go. Now let me talk about this sale and why we're doing it and why we usually don't do sales. We usually don't do sales because I think that when it comes to live animals, the ethics around putting them on sale gets questionable, gets really messy real quick. And the reason I think that is, let's show you an awesome example. There are some fish here that are just an absolute smoking deal. This, for example. Okay, let's see what Betta unimaculata ANCAM usually costs. Betta unimaculata ANCAM. Okay, let's see if there's any available for sale. And if so, how much are they? Okay, this form is 72 bucks. This one is 38. This one is 35. 55. Let's see if do they have the actual one. Here it is, ANCAM. $42.95. Okay, that's one source. Does anyone else have them? $64.95. Oh, that's That's the non-sale price. They have theirs on sale. Let's see here. They're hard to get too, so it's hard to find. 60 SGDs, I'm not sure what currency that is. Okay, so this is a fish that is pretty expensive. We're selling them for $14.99. So when you usually have to pay about 50 to 60 bucks a piece, and now you can get them for $15, what I fear happens is people get FOMO. The people are like, I've been wanting that fish together forever. It's finally in my price range. I'm going to get it now. And maybe they don't have the proper aquarium set up yet, right? Maybe they don't have the proper habitat. So I don't want to incentivize people to buy animals that they are not set up to properly care for. And I think that sales do that, especially if they're limited sales that say, sale ends Thursday. It's like, oh, I better get it now. I guess I'll put it in my bathtub until I get a tank up and cycled. And we all know what happens in those situations, right? We've all made that mistake where we've gone out and did an impulse buy because something was really cool and the price is right, and brought it home and we weren't prepared and we knew it, but we thought it'll be fine, and it wasn't fine, right? That's not fair to the animals. So that's why I don't usually put animals on sale. That's the ethical reason. The other reason is I don't want to train my customer base to only buy things when they're on sale, because I would go out of business. The way you don't go out of business when you do that is you mark your stuff up way higher than it needs to be, so when it goes on sale, you're still making a profit. We don't do that. Our normal price is the price we have to sell something for to pay all the costs we have to operate the way we do and stay in business. I don't want to be that company that has a really high price so that when they go on sale, you're tempted to buy it without knowing that that's the actual sustainable price, the sale price, right? So that's why I do stuff the way I do. Oh, someone's locked out. Just a second. I got to let someone in the building. Just give me 1 second. They locked it behind him, huh? What happened here? Well, you want to come show them who it is? All right. So here's who I let through the building. You all that have been around for a while will know this. This is Random Arms. Random Arms is in the building. All right. So apparently he got locked out. Apparently they locked up and didn't tell him, and he didn't take his key out. That's funny. So anyway, I was talking about sales and why I don't do them. But occasionally I find myself in a situation where I have a really special import coming in soon, and I need some tank space for it. And there are fish where I don't have many of them left in a lot of cases, and so if I could sell just those few of them, that would clear up that tank so I can get the new import in. So that's why the fish are on sale, is just I have a space crunch right now. Now, this sale doesn't end Tuesday. Don't rush to buy anything. If you have a good environment for these and you see anything you like at a price that makes sense for you on the sales tab there, then yeah, buy it. But if you just see something and you're like, oh, the price is awesome, I better buy it, but you don't have the proper habitat set up for them, don't buy them. I'm not doing this to try to incentivize irresponsible pet ownership. Let's put it that way. So some real cool stuff though is on sale, and I do want to talk about it. But with all that disclaimer, please don't feel any FOMO. Let's do the right thing here. So a couple of cool things. This, I think, is one of the unsung heroes of the aquarium hobby. It's not often available. It's a beautiful little docile, interesting behavior gourami. The spike-tail gourami or spike-tail paradise fish. Just a neat little thing. Very seldom available, and I can't believe it, but we're selling them for $6.99. I made a video featuring these a couple videos ago, so if you want to learn more about them, I cover them in detail over there. The Bonita Tetra, this is one that's hard for me to get. I only know one breeder that sources them regularly, and in a way that is humane, that does a good job with them. And so those are on sale now too, because we just have a few left and we need to clear the tank. This is a super cool fish, the copper-nosed barb. And they are the most rapidly swimming fish I've ever encountered, which is why I can't get a good picture of them. They will not stay still for anything. And when they are moving, they're moving fast. But I can't really do that one. But they're basically an African version, a West African version of a hill trout, if you will. So, I mean, they're a really interesting, neat fish that you never see. And we usually sell them for like 25 bucks. We lowered the price recently to $19.99. And then we're like, we need the tank. And so we made them $9.99. But this is, if you like hill trout, that's another one to think of that would fit the bill for something like that. Rivulus hartii, which is now Anablepsoides. It's got a new genus. These are very young and small, 1.5 to maybe 2 inches on the biggest ones, just barely getting color. These things grow 4 or 5 inches. These are the giant rivulus. And the color just gets better and better with age. That's another one that's on sale that is amazing. Cheese Creek Plecos, these were bred and raised by a hobbyist in Georgia who has amazing fish and does an amazing job. I think $24.99 is kind of a killer price for those. Then here's another one that's like a really good deal. This is one where I worry people just jump on them even if they don't have an aquarium ready, and I'm discouraging you from doing that because these are usually 150 bucks. And we're selling them for $79.99. The L236 Plecos, these are no just L236. These are the RB line. And I have the provenance of these fish with these and the super whites. Then another one that's a crazy price, even though they're still pricey. So these were $390, these were 400 bucks. These are so pricey for me to bring in. And I've never seen them before. And so I saw them and I was like, that's new, that's exciting. It's expensive, but it's new enough and exciting enough that I think people will buy it. So I brought them in. And competitors, by the way, were selling these for 600 bucks. Not every competitor, but some competitors were. So I was like, oh, I can bring it in. And even though $399 is expensive, 400 bucks is expensive, it's still in the ballpark of what everyone is selling them for. And it's a lot cheaper than what several other companies are selling them for. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. It's worth the risk. I brought them in. No one cared. This is one that I brought in thinking, yeah, they're expensive, but they're rare enough and cool enough. And compared to what everyone else is selling them for, priced well enough that they'll sell. They just didn't. This is an amazing fish. It's a platinum clouded archer fish. So it's a true freshwater fish. Doesn't need salt, doesn't have salt in its natural environment. It's aquarium bred and raised, so you aren't damaging the local ecosystem or populations when you get these. And it's a beautiful platinum white. So since no one's bought them and it's been a long time, I'm biting the bullet, and they're $149.99, 150 bucks, which is still a lot of money, but for the fish's value, it's not. Now I know these are not for everyone. They get big enough, they need a decent sized tank and all that, but this is not a brackish water species. This is a pure freshwater species. Okay, and that does it for, I think, what I'll talk about on the sales side of stuff. So that's what's going on here on that end of things. So a lot of new stock is listed for sale at dansfish.com, and there is some stuff on sale, which literally we never do. Maybe once every year and a half, we find ourselves in a situation where we're like, it'd be really nice to clear some tank space. What's the easiest way to do that? Let's just put those on sale. Like every now and then. Not very often though. Okay, so let's see, we've done that. I think we're at the point in the live stream where we can actually take your questions and comments. So let me wet my whistle here, and then we will do some of that. Geek Boy says that Geek Boy is such a troublemaker. Yeah, we all know that. That's why we love you. Don't ever change. Mm. Wow, I'm gonna get more of that. That's real good. You know when you're thirsty and you don't realize it? That you're really thirsty and you don't realize it till you take a sip of water and then your body's just like, more. And it's and even though it's just water, it's like delicious. Yeah, that just happened. Dan J, thank you for upgrading your membership. Appreciate you being a member, Dan. Thanks so much. And Kelly Foreman, I don't trust that Geek Boy. Yeah, Kelly, you're a wise woman. There's a reason you're doing well in life. And Scotty the Fish Freak. Plans are just about finalized. A few stores, a few fish rooms, one of about 100 aquariums. Wow. Email you next week with final details. Oh, and lots of food. Cool. Scotty is saying that because he is made it possible. Made what? I don't know. He's geez, why is this word so hard right now? Anyway, Scotty's gonna host me over at the Aquarium Club of Lancaster in Pennsylvania. I think I speak April, is it the 18th or 19th, something like that? And so I'll be speaking at the Aquarium Club of Lancaster this month in Pennsylvania. If you're there, I'd love to see you. And one thing I always request when I go speak at a club is you don't have to pay me or anything, but I would like to take a day to go tour fish rooms, fish stores, maybe collect some wild fish in your area, get a chance to see what's out there, basically. So I don't just fly in, give a talk, fly out, and not have a chance to meet anyone, make any meaningful relationships, or learn something, really. And so Scotty has arranged all of that. So thank you, Scotty. I can't wait. I'm very excited, and glad to hear about the food because I can eat. So yeah, if you're around the Pennsylvania area, then come check it out. I should post a link there. One of the mods, can mods post links? I think you can. If you can, would you mind posting a link to the website of the Club of Lancaster? Is that it? Aquarium, I think it's Aquarium Club of Lancaster. I never know if it's club or association or society or what. If you can do that, and if not, yell at me and I will do it myself. Scotty, oh, I already got that one. Denise, hey Denise. Denise has gifted 10 Dance Fish memberships. That is highly generous of you. Thank you so much. Congrats to everyone that just got membered. And thanks, Denise. That's one of the best ways to support the channel because you gave 10 memberships and some of those folks are going to decide to renew their membership. And that little recurring revenue every month is it's nice. It helps a company that's growing. Yeah. Okay, I think I got to all of the viewer activity. Now I want to thank the moderators for being here, volunteering their time to moderate. I really appreciate that. I don't take it for granted. I know I say the same thing every week when I thank you guys, because I can't think of a better way to say it. But don't think that just because I say the same words or something very similar every time, that I'm just like spitting something out real quick to move on. I really appreciate it. You are not... you're not taking, talking today is really hard. What's the word? I appreciate what you're doing, and you're not, how do you say that? My brain is not braining today. You're appreciated, thank you. How about that? We'll leave it there. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I can't even talk. Okay, let's get to questions and comments. The first one I can see is CS. How do you keep the fish oxygenated overnight when you keep them in a bag to empty their bowels? Trying to learn how to ship fish. Well, they just do that via air exchange. So the surface of the water meets the atmosphere, and there's enough oxygen that gets pulled into that the fish are fine. Like, geez, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of fish or what the number is that we've done this but it's not a problem. Yeah. So there is one thing we do though to help that, which is we feed the fish and then we don't pull the fish until the next day. So if we're selecting a fish for a customer and putting it in a bag, we don't feed the fish until the fish are selected and put in the bag. So they don't have like a fresh full belly of food, hopefully. Now some fish do because they eat algae and detritus and all that stuff. And there's nothing you can do to prevent them from feeding. But that's one thing you can do to help with that if you're concerned. But yeah, just the top of the bag's open and there's enough air exchange there that they do just fine. And we have oxygen, we have a couple oxygen meters and we keep track of that stuff. So we've done those tests and it's just fine in our experience. T-Shot, hey T-Shot. Hey Dan, just want to say thanks for canceling my order of rainbow shiners. I was bummed out, but I appreciate you being honest about them getting sick. How are they doing? Did you lose them? We have 2 tanks. One's doing better than the other, and let me see if I can. Okay, do something here. I can't. I always want to do this on my computer screen, but whenever I do that on my computer screen, I end up sharing things that I don't mean to share. So let me pull this up on my phone. I'm gonna see if I can tell you exactly how they're doing. We keep track of all this stuff very, very carefully. Okay, so we did hear back from the lab today about them, and I just want to make sure I have the result correct. So, okay. How do you do a search in Google Sheets on your phone? This should be interesting. Okay, here we go. Yep, it looks different on your phone, but I'm going to take a minute here to tell you exactly what's going on. I wish I could do a search, but it's not easy on a telephone. Telephone? Cell phone. A telephone. Would you answer the telephone, please, darling? It's ringing by the telegraph machine. By the record player. Okay, just a sec here. I'm trying to scroll to the bottom of our list here so I can give you an actual answer. This might take me too long, but to tell you what's going on with both tanks. There we go. Rainbow shiners. The one in tank E23, that's the one that's doing better. The gills are slightly anemic, but there's no other significant findings. On the 8th, I'll tell you exactly what they had. On the 8th, they had a case of trichodina. So we found trichodina on the 8th. We treated them. So that seems to be what was the problem in that tank. And now there's no sign of trichodina a day later, which we would expect. We'll still treat them a little longer, but Chiladenella and trichodina, what we found is one treatment's usually enough to knock those off. Those have a very simple life cycle where they just divide their cells to reproduce. So there's no stage where they have a cyst or an egg or whatever you want to call it that is not sensitive to the medication. A lot of parasites, like ick, for example, there's a portion of that life cycle where they're just, let's call them eggs for lack of a better term. And those eggs are encapsulated and the medicine can't penetrate that encapsulation, that cyst around them. And so you can't kill those with a treatment. So it takes several treatments to get rid of an infection of ick, because you have to get them when they come out of that life cycle. So you have to treat long enough that you get them while, once they exit that part of the life cycle. Chiladenella and trichodina, easy, simple life cycle, so one treatment usually knocks them out. But we usually I think we usually treat for, it looks like the treatment is successful, but we'll treat for another day or two just to make sure. So that's what was in that tank. The good news is it looks like they've recovered. And so they've got a little, what was it on the gills? What's that from? That's probably just from being exposed to medication. The little bit of anemia on the gills. So that's that tank. Let me see if I can find the other tank easily on a phone. This is kind of hard to do on my phone, guys, but I'm trying here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the ones in C29. Don't know if we know for sure. Possible bacteria infection. I believe this is one where we got a report back from the state lab today. Let me see. Because when we don't know for sure what's going on with the fish, we send them to a diagnostic laboratory. We have an in-house diagnostic laboratory, but we can only diagnose so much. We can't do PCRs and other procedures that are complex and have specialized equipment. Was this the one we got today? I believe, yeah, I believe we got the report of the rainbow shiners today, and that there was no signs of a pathogen. So that's where we're at on those. That's probably more than you wanted to know, but that's the full report, if you will. Kayla's Reptiles and Aquatics has been a member for 30 months. Bob, the Codfather. Dan, members receiving the sale notice and other events a day early is a great membership perk. Yeah, so one day I'm going to have the bandwidth or hire the person to help manage the members and all that. Right now I don't, so I can't do anything too crazy. But what I do for the members is if I'm, like in this case, we had a sale, I let the members know a day early so that they could, you know, have first dibs. Often when we release a video, the members get access to it first. There are some notifications in the community chat that only go to members. Not many, because I don't do that many posts in the community tab, but there is some of that going on too. So I try to find things I can do for members that I can manage. And so far, early notice and kind of first dibs on things is the thing that's worked the best. So I'll keep doing that. The truth is there's not a lot of membership perks. So don't join up. Don't become a member of the Dan's Fish YouTube channel. Don't become a Danio or Danionella. Being like, okay, I'm going to pay the $4.50 or $5 or whatever it is a month because I'm going to get stuff for it. People that have done it, they do it basically because they want to support us. They like our mission. They like what we're trying to do, and they want to support it. And when something does happen, it's like a bonus. So that's where I'm at. I'm having trouble. I can't commit to like tons of perks all the time. Brian, hi Dan, I'm here. I'm lurking. Keep up the good work. Hey, Brian, enjoy the lurking. Hope you're doing fantastic. Glad to hear that you're doing good. Not Stefan. Stephen P, 2003, Aquatics. Oh, also gifted some memberships. Stephen P, thank you so much. Hope you and Jenna are doing awesome. All right, it's almost 8 o'clock already. Whew, this is flying by for me. There are 374 folkses here. That's not bad. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being part of the stream. If you know someone that you think might enjoy this kind of content, would you mind sharing this out, letting them know what's happening? We do want to grow the live stream. We do want to grow the channel. And I have to say, I think I do an enjoyable stream, hopefully. Hopefully I'm not, you know, super boring and provide some useful information and maybe even a little bit of entertainment sometimes. Zerg, thank you again for the red tail. Good day. It's, oh yeah, that's a fish that we do right. Got 10 fry already, and I love and hate y'all for the amazing price on the Black Chain Live Bear group, so I had to grab more and some tetras. Yeah, Zerg, are you the one that bought some at full price of the Black Chain Live Bears, and then like the next day is when the sale went live? I'm sorry. I try not to do that to people. Yeah, that's another reason not to do sales. People buy something, the next day it goes on sale. They're like, man, watch your toes slam. About the lemon tetras and cheap fish, I love the hardy and common ones too, and would always rather pay more to you to know they'll thrive than contaminate my babies with PetSmart fish. Well, thanks, Watch Your Toes. You know, a lot of people are in that boat. We honestly did not think we would sell a lemon tetra or even a neon tetra or a cardinal tetra or rummy nose tetra. But turns out people just want healthy fish, even the common ones, except for penguin tetras. For the life of me, I couldn't sell the penguin tetras. I've had those for months and months. No one wanted the penguin tetras, which is weird because they're one of the more popular ones. But, you know, I even did a video featuring them. Still, nope. So not every fish are people willing to pay, I guess, you know, what you would call the Dan's Fish price for them. How's that for marketing? You willing to pay the Dan's Fish price? What do you mean? Well, it's horrendously expensive. Oh, what great marketing. K. Henry, my angelfish developed a bright red color with where his pectoral fin meets the body about 10 days ago. Still eating and acting normally, not getting any worse. Any ideas what this could be? I wouldn't know for sure without an examination, but often if there's red streaking and stuff, that can be a sign of septicemia or some kind of internal bacterial infection. I'm not saying that's what it is because I don't know, but that is something that you look for in fish. A red streaking in fish. Aquarium fish. Let's see. What do they say? And I don't know if it's streaking or not, but yeah, it makes me think of this. Bacterial infections like septicemia, red spot is, yeah. So I would check your parameters, make sure the water's all good and stuff first and foremost. And then I honestly don't know what I would recommend without examining them. Here's what I'm finding. The more we learn about fish health, by the way, which is the topic that I'll be speaking on next weekend at the Aquarium Club of Lancaster, the more I learn, the more I realize you don't know anything almost unless it's actually diagnosed under a microscope or through a laboratory or whatever. I can't tell you the number of times. I've been doing this 30 plus years, and I thought I could look at a fish and maybe be like, oh, it's got this. Nope. Turns out I'm wrong. Turns out half the time when I look at a fish and I'm like, it's got this, and then we run it through a laboratory, it's got something else. Case in point, there's a couple of Limia nigrofasciata, humpback Limia that we have that have been really healthy, but have these white spots on them and have for a long time. First we thought it was Epistylus. The medication didn't work. So we thought it was a virus because there's a virus that looks very similar to ick and Epistylus. And to confirm that, we sent them to the laboratory. And we heard back today that they have, I might get the name wrong. I thought it was dermatosis, derm something, which is the first time I have heard of this. It's a parasite that embeds in the fish's skin, not ick, not a virus, not Epistylus, something completely different than we thought. And so, you know, you would have sworn looking at this fish that it was Epistylus. Nope, it's not. JR, gold, dwarf gold neon gobies arrived today and doing great. Another order coming in tomorrow. My first killie order ever. You're doing killifish. Congratulations. Your world will never be the same. You finally found your calling in life. You have reached the zenith of nirvana. Killifish are the best. But the gold dwarf neon gobies, yes. What do you think? Stunning, right? I mean, even in the bag, they're a good-looking fish. Kayla's Reptiles and Aquatics and Kayla's Reptiles and Aquatics throwing down a Pippi longstocking and a dude that's also jumping for joy. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for the fun super stickers. Eric, why rock? We always ask, why not rock? Hashtag send Johnny the Clash with hearts. For those that didn't hear earlier, we've done it. We've raised $1,137 for Johnny to go to the clash. I think that's sufficient. I think that'll probably do it. So, mission succeeded. KCM Aquatics, I think I can buy a male and female L236, or would I have to buy 5 to 6 to... Oh, do you think I can buy? Yeah, you can do that. I don't think you can do it for me, though. We can guess. We can do our best. But I am not confident enough with expensive plecos to be willing to sex them and then have you get them and a few months later find out, oh, that's not a female. She's now growing all these big, long spikes on her pectoral fins and all that. So we can do our best. We can try to get one that's got a female-ish shape and one that's got a male-ish shape. But the truth is, no, we can't guarantee it. And it would be a big risk doing that. So I know some things. I know a lot of things about a few fish. I know some things about a lot of fish. And plecos are one that I know some things about. But I don't know enough about them to be confident in my ability to sex them to where I'm not setting up the customer for a bad experience. W Robo, will you be bringing in more Gudeids or other varieties? Yes, if you would breed them, I would love to buy them from you. We bring in Gudeids anytime we can, provided it's a Gudeid that'll do okay at 79 degrees, which is what we keep our system at. So, yeah, I love Gudeids. The problem is they're hardly ever available. It's not like there's a sales list with a whole bunch of Gudeids on it that I can just order. I usually have to get them from hobbyist breeders, and they're usually only available very, very occasionally. But if someone out there is breeding trout Gudeids in numbers, I'd love to buy trout Gudeids. That's one that I like. The Scyphia are awesome too. Francesca, is that how you say that one? That one we've had good luck with. We have Xenotoca Dodroi. We have Ameca Splendens. By the way, our current group of Ameca Splendens is the best one I've ever seen. Ameca Splendens. The butterfly split fin. They look awesome. They're big, they're fat, they're sassy. They have this bright iridescence on them. They have these bold yellow fins on the edge of the fin. Like, it's a good group. So if that's a fish you've been wanting, the ones we have are excellent. And man, that colony is growing like crazy. They're having so many babies. But finding a source for them is difficult. It's not something. The other thing is, as you probably know, I'm on the wrong page. As you probably know, they don't have large numbers of fry. Their strategy is to have very highly developed fry. So when a female drops fry, there's only a few, but they're big enough that the adults usually don't eat them. And they're big, they're well developed, but there's only a few of them. So that makes it hard for the industry to produce enough that I can buy them from them. John Kivlin was bummed to find out the shiners got sick. Set up a tank just for them. Any chance you have more coming soon? Yeah, well, we also have, when they get sick, we treat them and we get them healthy. And then when they're healthy, then we can sell them. So, yeah. So we're doing that. And I was bummed too, but you know, if we know a fish is sick, we're going to contact you. So let's say you've ordered a fish from us. This is what happened with the rainbow shiners. There's people who have been waiting forever for these. And we have really nice ones. They're so beautiful right now. And set up a specialized tank and all that. Finally got them from us. And everything's going great. And then right before we're going to send them to them, we see there's some dead fish in that tank. Ooh, that's a problem. And so in those cases, what we do is we contact the customer and we're like, we're sorry, something's going on with these. We can't send them to you. And that's hugely disappointing to the customer. And I hate doing that. But the alternative is to send a sick fish. And we're not going to do that. And so, yeah, I was real bummed too, John. But please know that if you order fish from us and we know that something's going on, we're not going to send them to you. And we're not just going to delay and like drag you on either. We'll just contact you and we'll say, we're sorry, but something's going on with these. We can't send them. So it's the best way I can think of to handle a bad situation. Cool videos from a cool guy. So why does Dan's chair have to, so what does Dan's chair have to say? Oh, so this chair doesn't say anything. But I did have an amazingly squeaky chair way back when I first started live streaming. And every now and then it would talk. Oh, it would talk loud on the stream. Donnie, I've been a lurker for years, but never joined until today. Well, welcome, Donnie. Donnie Main. Longtime listener, first time caller. Nick Reed, what were you teaching when you were a college professor? Just learned you were when I was watching the warehouse build videos. I was a professor of the theater. So I taught theater. I've been in the entertainment industry, most of my life. And back in the day, was an actor and all that stuff. More in my adult life, still did some of that, but mostly professor and also producer. So what I specialized in on the professional side was I produced a theater festival for new plays, and we would take plays that were the playwrights had written that were awesome but weren't getting production, and we helped the playwright get them into production. So I can show you a couple of those if you want. Here's one. This is a play that had a development production here at my festival, and then I'm thrilled to say went off Broadway. So that's that one. What's another one? Hollywood, Nebraska. In fact, Mark Saltzman, the playwright of Romeo and Bernadette, and I are 5 for 5. We've developed 5 of Mark's plays, and all 5 of them have gotten professional productions, which is the goal in theater. They've moved on. Here is another play that we developed that has productions all over. I think this is a picture from our production. Yeah, that's a picture from my production right there. So is this one. Michelle J. So she's an awesome actress. So that's what I did professionally, that and taught the theater as well. So I still love it. Haven't had time to do it for a long time because, well, I'm a fishmonger now, and building a fish business is no joke. It's literally one of the hardest businesses I think you could go into. It's hard to manage inventory. There's all kinds of problems in the industry that you have to navigate and figure out how to solve if you're going to operate the way we want to operate. And doesn't get old, that's for sure. T-Shot, did you buy that import off of FOMO when you didn't have the room? No. There's a breeder I work with who I place an order and I never know if I'm going to get the fish in 2 weeks or 3 months. Like, there's no yeah, you don't know when they're going to come. So in that case, all you can really do is order and know that at some point it's going to come and you have to get ready for it. And every time I do a sale, it's because that particular breeder is the one I'm ordering from. I can't think of another time I've done a sale. And sometimes it works out perfectly and I've got the tank space, and other times it's like, oh, okay, this time they're coming quicker. Let's get some tank space. So sorry guys, chat just died. Let me reload it here. Okay, getting chat loaded. Popping it out so I can see it better. And we're just about back. I know you guys are able to see all this while this happens, but now I can see chat again. Hopefully I can still scroll up a little bit. Okay, here's what happened. When chat crashes like that, it cuts off a lot of what was up above. So the first one I can see, this is as far up as I can scroll right here. I can't go higher. The first one I can see is this one from John Kivlin. So if you left a comment up above that I did not get to, I can't see it. I can't get back to it. So please leave it again, and I'll do my best to get down to it. John Kivlin, I completely understand and appreciate you not sending sick fish. Yeah, I would want that too if I was a customer. Julian's Fish Shed. When you say I've been in the entertainment industry, I think, oh, Dan was an exotic dancer. Well, how do you know I wasn't? I'm on the wrong screen. Let's shift that over. How do you know what I do on a Friday night? Cool videos from a cool guy. I meant when you went to go, when you went to go left the employee in your chair was in the shot. When I went to go left, the employee in the chair was in your shot. I'm sure that makes sense, but my brain ain't braining. Sorry. Chase the Master. Do you ever have adult L number plecos? I really want to try and breed them, or if you could point me in the right direction. Chase, plecos are not something I specialize in. I do bring in some rare ones and hard to find ones in like pure RB lines and stuff like that. But I myself am not, one of those pleco nerds who's, I know how to care for them. I know how to source good ones and stuff like that. But I haven't dug in super, super deep. So I don't know that world well enough to point in the right direction. But I will say, even if I had adults, I wouldn't be comfortable guaranteeing the sexes. I just, when you get into that kind of money, I do not want to disappoint. Did I miss the giveaway? William, you did not. Giveaway is still pending. Renzo Ide, what's the best Hillstream loach to get for breeding now? I know there's been a lot of reports of Soelia lineolata, the reticulated Hillstream loach, being people breeding that one. So these guys here are one that are commonly bred. So this might be a good one to start with. Some of the others are bred as well, but this one is the one I hear about the most commonly. And I don't know if it's because it's the easiest or because it's a very popular fish, so more people just have it, so therefore, more of them are spawned in aquariums. But that's the one I think to start with. The price point isn't too high. They're beautiful. They're hardy. Good intro for trying to breed these guys. Seville Steve, J-barbs are growing well. Oh, this is great. Next breeding project, Empire Gudgeons. Oh, that one's going to be fun. Now, I have in my research come across some freshwater populations that are landlocked in lakes, don't have access to the ocean. So it might be possible to raise the babies in freshwater. The trick is going to be to figure out what to feed them. You'll have to have food that's so easy to eat and plentiful in the tank that they can eat it even though their jaws aren't fully developed yet. So it's almost like raise them in a rotifer culture or something. I don't know, but man, that would be awesome. And Steve, I don't know how many of the J-barbs you're raising. I wouldn't imagine that it's like a huge number, but that's something that I would love to buy. If you ever produce those in any kind of quantity that makes shipping worth it, I would love to have J-barbs. That's one of the coolest fish out there. The big dill. Yeah, I'm a pretty big dill. Any advice on breeding Congo tetras? Yeah, the best advice I would have is go to a YouTube channel called Mark's Aquatics. He breeds lots of tetras. I think he's got a video series on breeding and raising Congo tetras, and he does it in a way that's simple and I think anyone could replicate. So that's what I would do. KCM Aquatics, will you be getting any Notho rubripinis in? I need a female and also a female bivitatum. Well, I will have more bivitatum. The rubripinis, I do plan on bringing more in. I don't know when I'll be able to do that. Nothos are not something that are easy to source. Tyler Kaplan, do you have any experience keeping Arizius? What's this one? Minutilis, the dwarf Medaka. I've kept a lot of Medaka, but I'm interested in that species. No, that's one rice fish I've never kept. I know the one you're talking about, though, even though I can't say the species name worth a darn. I've seen footage of someone snorkeling, I believe, in their habitat and getting footage of it and stuff. I just haven't kept them yet. So I've done, your standard Japanese rice fish. I've done Daisy's rice fish, Java rice fish, and closely related ones. Arizius profundicola and Arizius, is it Matanensis? Yeah. But those are the only rice fish off memory that I have any experience with. Do you think I could keep a single L333 with a single L236 in a 75 gallon if they had their own caves? Yeah, I think that's big enough that you could. Yep, I believe that would work. I would have a plan B just in case someone beat someone else up, but in that size tank, especially if there's, like, don't just do 2 caves, do like 8. And then there's plenty of places for everyone to go, would be my advice. But I think you'd be okay in that. Chip and Dan's Dancer, you know it, Passing Wind. You know it. My shake brings all the... Anyway. Zerg, yeah, I bought a pair of black chin at full price 2 weeks ago and then just got them last week. Yeah. Glad you were able to get some on sale too. Connor Kamaniki, do you like Wobbin Moosters or L519s better? I like 519s just because they have more orange. They're both awesome. To me, they both look pretty much exactly the same. It's just the 519 has an orange color to it, while the Wobbin Mooster has a not a bad. When you say brown, it's not like a brown. It's like a kind of pleasing golden brown. But I think the 519s are a little prettier. Will you ever get the Theri species red tails back in? I will, but not for a while. Green Shield, I brought those in, and our price on those was not bad. Penguin. $19.99, which is a lot for a Tetra, but not a lot for the red-tailed penguin Tetra. Super rare, super hard to get. I didn't think that was a bad price. Brought them in. No one wanted them. Like, they sat and sat and sat, and so we couldn't sell them. So I'm going to let them sit for a little while, and I might try again in a bit. But yeah, when I try a fish and my customers tell me what to order, when I buy a fish and no one buys it, I'm like, I guess I won't be buying that again anytime soon. And by the way, just so you know, a major way that I decide what to order is I look at the wish list. So if you are going to order a fish and it's out of stock, such as these red-chinned panchaks, you can click add to wish list. And if a lot of people add it to their wish list, then I'll know, hey, a lot of people want this, I should bring it in. If no one adds it to their wish list, then I'm like, well, I can buy 10 things, and I can buy 15 things, but I only have space for 10. Which 10 should I get? Well, I should get the ones that the customers want the most, right? So the wish list function really does guide our purchasing decisions. And by the way, if something's not out of stock, but you can't get it now, but you want it later, if you click into there, you can add it to the wish list even if it's in stock, if you click on the item description. So that's one major way that we manage, that we know what to buy. We have access to thousands and thousands of fish, and that's not an exaggeration. Lots and lots of fish. Now, even though some fish are rare and hard to get, but we can get lots of fish. But it doesn't make sense for us to carry them all. It makes sense for us to carry the ones that our customers want, and then bring in a small percentage of new stuff to see if the customer wants it. And the customer will let us know by their purchasing if they want it or not. Renzo Ide, ordering 10 now. Why, thank Renzo. Thank you so much. It's because of people like you that I get to wake up every morning and come in and do something I truly love. So I appreciate that. Fishy Jake Outdoors. From the commercial side of things and an education background as masters in fisheries, aquaculture, aquatic sciences, salt bass 3 to 5 ppm can work miracles. Yeah, absolutely. We tend to, there's lots of things that we use salt for, and our target is 5 ppt. Sometimes we go up as high as maybe 8 ppt, and every now and then, if it's a salt tolerant species, we'll go really high. Like if we're trying to kill anchor worms or something like that, we'll go super high if the species can take it. Cool videos from a cool guy. I have a pregnant female. Should I stop the comment there? Do the right thing, cool videos. Put a ring on it. Endler guppy with circles on her belly, and she really chubby. Do I need to isolate her? I would think if she looks like she's bloated, that it might be nice for her to have some peace and quiet. So if she's like super big, then yeah, it's probably going to be nice. Now moving her can be really stressful though. So I don't know what your situation is, but is this a situation where there's only like her and a male, and you could move the male to another tank and leave her in that tank? Or is this like a big community tank and it's like, no, I really need to just move her? It might be worth doing that. But I'd only do it if you could set up something for her to go in that's water stable, isn't going to have parameter shifts and stuff, because that will stress her out a lot too. So if you can do it and not stress her more by doing it than by leaving her where she is, then I would do it. I'd have dim light on the tank probably, have some cover for her to hang out in, and just try to give her a real stress-free place. I think that's a good move. With all the caveats aforementioned. My lawyer told me I had to say that. Not really, but. Okay, scrolling. Okay, chat jumped, so here we go. Fishy Jake Outdoors. What do you do for a living? Sounds like... Fishy Jake, are you looking for a job? If you are, send me an email with your cover letter and resume. hello@dansfish.com. That's HELLO@dansfish.com. I'd be interested to look at it. Nick Reed, my male guppy has some white looking threads hanging off his tail. And he's been hanging in the flow for a couple of days. Can't find anything online. Was wondering if you've seen anything like this. Is it anchor worm? Does it look like this? Where is it? Aha, that's a good picture. Does it look something like this? Central stalk with a Y at the end. Here's one on a Danio, central stalk, Y at the end. These are the egg cases, by the way. That's its reproductive. Oh, here you go. Now that is a very small picture, but that's very accurate. Clear. So that's what I think of, but without seeing it, I don't know if it's not that. It's 8:24, which means it's probably time to do our little giveaway here. So this giveaway is for a Panaque Pleco. Guys, these can become absolute tank busters. I don't know if the one we have is a tank buster or not because it was a contaminant, and I don't know how big it's going to get. Right now, for those that missed this spiel earlier, right now it's 4 to 5 inches and looks like this from the top and like this from the side. Those are actual pictures of the actual fish. So if this is one that grows really big, this fish is not for everybody. If you can't give this fish a good home when it is grown, you know, it might not be the best fish to win in a giveaway. So with that caveat, I'm going to tell you, if you do think you can provide a good home for it, how to enter to win it. And that is by putting, oh, I got to redo this. When chat, I forgot chat disappeared. Okay, let me redo the giveaway because chat died. And when it did, okay, done. Just a minute, having a little trouble with this. Okay, hopefully this works. Usually they change something. Usually when I do this, it has the hashtag up here. It doesn't now, but the hashtag is eatwood. Hashtag EATWOOD. No spaces, capitalization does not matter because this is a wood-eating pleco. So hashtag eatwood. If you put that in the chat, then hopefully it puts entries here, although it's acting a little funny. So we'll see here in a second. Okay, it is entering people. Okay, seems to be working then. Okay, cool. All right, while that is loading up and gets the next comment directed at me. By the way, for those that are new here, the mods have said this a few times, but what I look for when I scroll is these bright orange boxes. See those? That's how I know you're trying to get my attention. Everything else, I imagine, is just friends talking amongst themselves, catching up, having a good time. So if you want to get my attention, it's like this. Put a hashtag or @ symbol, and then start typing Dan's Fish, and you'll see some options pop up. If you select Dan's Fish, this is how to make an orange box. And then send it, then I will see it as bright orange on my side. So that's how to get my attention. MDC 77 giant finned termite giveaway. Yeah, wood eaters, Panaque Plecos, big fish termites. I guess that's one way to think of them. Rotary grill, Rotary girl, how's that? Any fun rainbow fish restocks coming? I see you have a couple now, and I'd love to give you lots of money for rainbows. Well, Rotary girl, why is grill so much easier to say than girl? What is it about how our mouth works, how our throat works? Grill, girl. Yeah, it's just easier to say grill. Anyway, Rotary girl. We are about 6 weeks out from having some pretty awesome rainbows. So that's where we're at in that. Now, that is provided that the import actually shows up and that what I ordered actually shows up. But this is a supplier I've used many times, and we should have some awesome stuff for you, yes. Our maiden. Any suggestions for a colorful showcase fish or pair for a peaceful 29-gallon planted community tank reposting after chat crash? Thanks for doing that. Well, it's all in the eye of the beholder, but I like those spike tail. I really like the spike tail paradise fish. They're so unique. Now, is that what you would think is colorful? I don't know. But I really like the bright colors on the fins and the outline. This is like, it's hard to capture on camera, but this is an iridescent glowing outline on the fins. So that's a cool one. You couldn't go wrong with the pistos. There's so many beautiful pistogramma that all do well on planted tanks and are very beautiful. And then there's some really nice killifish as well. I mean, look at these things. So those are some options to get you started. Was I showing that the whole time? In case I wasn't. Here's killifish, here's the pistos, and here's the spike-tail paradise fish. All right, let's check in with our giveaway here and see how it's going. So the giveaway, all right. It doesn't tell me, oh, they changed it. Now it's on the bottom, 133 entries, cool. All right. And why is it, used to say the hashtag up here, but it's not now. Oh, well, what you gonna do? 134, and we'll choose it here in just a second. So if you are in the bathroom right now, you've got about 30 seconds. Go, 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 wipe, wipe, wipe. Okay, we're gonna do the drawing now, and the winner of that Panaque Pleco is, hey, Reformed Soterology, you have done it. Reformed, you have won a really neat Panaque Pleco. as long as you chime in and leave a comment in the next 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to leave a comment to claim your winnings. If you don't do that by the time the timer reaches 2 minutes, then you forfeit your Pleco and we will draw somebody else to win it. Reformed soterology. Soteriology? Soteriology, that's what I'm going with. Christina, is the 353 also known as the night sky pleco looking on planet catfish? I don't know the common name of the 353. I'm sorry. Big Steve's glass boxes. Hey, Big Steve, I hope you're doing wonderfully. I hope I didn't miss your answer this already. Do you have any experience with Nanochromis transvestitus or splendens? Do you prefer one over the other? Breedability, aggression, delicate. The only Nanochromis I have experience with is the Tegulse. This one. Perilous. The Perilous Nanochromis. This is the only one that we've kept. We did not have aggression. We didn't breed them that I know of, but we weren't trying to either. But from my experience, if the transvestitus and the, what's the other one you're looking at, the splendens, are similar to this, I have no complaints. Didn't get too big, not super aggressive, neat behavior, but that's the only experience I have with the genus. I just haven't kept many Nanochromis. All right, there it is. Reformed soteriology. Whew, has claimed your winnings. There you go. That's pretty close. Soteriology. I mean, I think I'll just call you reformed. But anyway, you have won. Congratulations. Please send an email to hello@dancefish.com to claim, well, you already claimed your winnings, but so we know your first name, your last name, and your shipping address. That's what we need so that we can arrange for a date to send you your Panaque Pleco. Thanks for participating. I'm glad you won after being an active member in the chat for so long. That's cool. Okay, we're going to shut down tonight. I want to thank the moderators for modding. I want to thank everyone that's a member of the channel for membering. Anyone that gifted memberships, thank you so much. That's super generous and super helpful. If you threw money at us, thanks for the super chats and super stickers. If you were active in the chat, thanks for participating. If you were not active in the chat, that's okay. I still love ya. Hail the Lurker Nation. If you're watching the replay, hello from the past. And finally, if you're listening to the podcast, bless you for waiting so long for me to get these loaded so you could listen to them as a podcast. And thanks for listening. We'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, I sincerely hope you have a great week. Bye-bye, folks.